That's great. And he would send
Well, welcome everybody to a Cairns Institute public lecture. I'd like to introduce, I'm Associate Professor Wendy Earles, a Research Fellow at the Institute, and I'd like to introduce our visiting scholar, Professor Peter Herrmann. And Peter is going to speak today on smart development or social and human rights. Now, Peter comes to us from a combination of universities in Europe, and he's spending almost 4 months out here as a visiting scholar with the Institute. And his area is European social policy, and particularly his early work was on the role of non-profit organisations. And he's been working predominantly in the area of what he calls the social quality approach, or the team he's working with calls that. And he works, as I said, across a series of universities, and he's senior advisor to the European Foundation on Social Quality. So we're very pleased to have Peter here in Cairns with us at the Institute, and I'll hand over to him.
Well, thanks very much, and good evening, good afternoon. It's a little bit difficult to define my position in this world in terms of scientific community. Talking about smart development and human rights, smart development or human rights, brings in actually a couple of different aspects. The one is sociology. I'm originally fully trained as a sociologist, but have as well a background in economics, law, political science, and philosophy. So this is what I want to bring together in looking at the current discussion about the economic crisis. So excuse my English, it's still German English, although I moved to Ireland, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago. Having said philosophy, I'll start with Aristotle, and this is more or less the only colourful slide you will see. Just start a little bit fresh. Aristotle referred to values, to virtues, moral and intellectual. You see them here listed, and I think everybody would agree that this is a good society, that is about something good, that this is something we would strive for. And if we look for an explanation, or if we look from here at the current crisis and the discussion over the crisis, we always come across this position of, there have been some people misbehaving, and basically we have to get back to virtues. But what is actually a crisis about? Let's look at a little bit at the small print. The crisis we face is obviously an economic one. But what does crisis mean? And there are already different positions that some people say, well, a crisis is something that is not inherent in the system. It's something that is caused by external factors, and you may say in Australia, or we say in Ireland, or in Germany, France, Netherlands, this had been just the banks and the bankers, finance institutes in the United States, they caused the crisis. Or it's something else, it's the war engagement of one country or anything else, external factors as interruption of a usually smoothly going system. Then it's misbehavior that individuals within the system behave badly, boldly, forgetting the virtues, greed. And it's not only the main actors of the system, but it may well be the consumers, grabbing everything they can get, looking for material wealth, whatever it means, but not looking for following a virtuous life, a good life, as Aristotle would say. Now, there's another position that it says that says, well, actually, a crisis is a very normal thing. It's not really an interruption. It is an interruption of a certain circle, but as such, it is a normal thing, and we have to face it time and again. So you would have every 5 years, every 10 years, whatsoever, a crisis. Actually, Schumpeter, naming one of the economists, would have said it has a clearing function, and even if he comes from an entirely different angle, Marx would have said the same. It's a clearing function, you have to go through it. It's like the body occasionally getting sick to get rid of all the bad things and then clearing up again for further development. And as such, we can say it is possibly just a systemic normality. We have to face it, it comes, it goes, and it is just the circle through which we go. A circular development, and this is part of, and there we face another problem in talking about it. It's a problem of national economies. I said there we face another problem because who believes today still in a national economy? It's all part of a globalization, of a globalizing process, and basically you cannot do anything about it. It's all done somewhere magically, mystically, like the internet, you press a button and something happens somewhere else.